Troy. 1180 BC, you are sealed inside a wooden horse with 29 other men in total darkness, and a Trojan directly below you is running his hand along the timber, wondering aloud whether to burn it. You cannot raise your spear, you cannot move, and the man beside you is starting to shake. Tonight, you will live the most famous trick in human history from the inside of the trap. Not as the hero who thought of it, but as one of the 30 men sealed in the dark who had to survive it, and then do what it was built for. By morning, Troy will be gone, and so will the person you were when you climbed inside. The plan sounded clever on the beach, in daylight, with the sun on it. Build a great wooden horse, hide the best man inside, burn the camp, sail the fleet out of sight behind the island, and leave one man behind, Sinon, to tell the Trojans a lie so perfect they dragged the horse through their own gates. In daylight it was a plan. Now it is a box. The entrance is sealed from outside. You cannot open it yourselves. If the lie fails, nobody lifts the hatch. You stay in the dark until you starve, or until they burn you, or until they take the whole thing apart with you inside it. You climbed into your own coffin voluntarily, and everything now depends on a liar convincing the enemy to do exactly the wrong thing. 10 years. That is how long the war has been. 10 years camped on a beach below walls you could never break, watching friends die of wounds and fever and boredom for a fight that started over a runaway queen and a wounded king's pride. You are not a king. You are not Odysseus, whose idea this is, or Ajax, or any name the poets will keep. You are a soldier, a good one, 10 years in, which is why you were chosen for the horse. The honor of it lasted until the hatch closed. Beside you is Antiklos, younger than you. He begged his way into the horse because he wanted a story to bring home, and you watched him volunteer and said nothing, because who were you to take a boy's honor from him? Across from you, a veteran named Echion who has not spoken since they sealed you in. He has the stillness of a man who stopped expecting to go home a long time ago. 30 of you, in a space built for stillness, and the war is about to end tonight. They come for the horse at midday. You feel it before you understand it. A lurch, a scrape, the whole world tilting as ropes take the weight. They are moving it. The lie worked. Through the timber you hear them, thousands of them, a whole city's worth of voices, and they are not afraid. They are celebrating. They think the war is over. They think they won. Then the horse stops, and there is a long argument outside, close. A voice, a woman's, insists the thing is a trick, that it should be burned now, tonight, before it can be brought inside. Another voice, a priest, agrees. You are lying in the dark, listening to two Trojans describe exactly what is about to happen to them, and pleading with their own people to stop it and being ignored. You hold your breath. Beside you, Antiklos is breathing too fast. You find his wrist in the dark and grip it hard. The only order you can give without a sound. Not now, not a sound. Live. The horse moves again, and then a sound you will never forget. Stone on either side of you, close, as the horse passes through the gate of Troy. 10 years you spent trying to get through that gate. Thousands of dead, the whole Greek army, and it could not be done. And now you're being carried through it on the shoulders of the enemy, in the dark like a gift. Inside the walls, the noise changes, feasting, music, a city that has not celebrated in a decade, letting itself finally believe. You lie in the belly of the horse and listen to Troy throw the party for its own funeral, and you feel nothing you expected. Not triumph, something colder. Hours pass. The feast winds down. The city drinks itself to sleep. And then the thing you were most afraid of. A voice outside. A woman walking the streets near the horse, and she calls out. She calls the names of the Greek warriors she knows are inside, imitating the voices of their wives one by one, perfectly, as if your own wife were standing in the street outside asking you to come out. It is a test, or a trick, or a god. You never learn which. And beside you, Antiklos breaks. He hears a voice he knows, and he opens his mouth to answer, and a sound starts in his throat that will end all of you. In the dark, hands move faster than yours. Odysseus is on him before the sound gets out, a hand clamped over his mouth, holding, while the boy struggles and then stops struggling. He holds until it is quiet. Antiklos does not make another sound. He never will. The boy who wanted a story to bring home died in the dark so that 30 men could live. And outside the wooden wall, the woman's voice moves on, still calling names, and you sit in the black with your friend's stillness beside you, and you do not move a muscle, because moving is dying, and you have just watched exactly how. Ikion, the veteran who has not spoken in a day, finally whispers 3 words: wait for Sinon. You think the hard part is over. The lie held, you are inside the walls. All that is left is to open the hatch and do the job. But nobody told you what the job actually is. Not really. Out there on the beach, they called it taking the city. In an hour, you will learn what those words mean when the city is full of sleeping people and you are the thing that came out of the dark. The hatch opens from below. Sinon, the man who stayed behind, who let the Trojans capture and beat him and still sold them the lie, has crept to the horse in the dark and released the bolt. The signal fire goes up on the walls. Out at sea, the fleet that pretended to leave turns back. And you climb down a rope into the sleeping city you spent 10 years trying to enter. What happens next is not a battle. A battle has 2 sides awake. This is the thing that has no clean word, the thing the poets will race past to get back to the heroes. You move through streets where the doors are unlocked because the war was over 3 hours ago. You open the gates from the inside for the army pouring back off the ships. And then the city that celebrated its survival at sunset learns in the dark that it did not survive at all. You do the thing you climbed into the horse to do, and you do it thinking of Antiklos, still up there in the wooden belly, who died for this hour and never got to see it. And somehow, that makes what your hands are doing worse and easier at the same time. You do what soldiers who have been promised 10 years of ending do. You are not proud of the hour that follows. You will never describe it to anyone, not once, for the rest of your life. By dawn, Troy is smoke. The walls that held for 10 years, gone or burning. You stand in a street you cannot recognize, and the war you gave your youth to is finally, actually over, and it does not feel like winning. It feels like the morning after something you can't take back. Here is what the horse cost the men who hid in it. The gods were watching what happened in Troy that night. The temples broken, the altars fouled, the things done to people who had surrendered, and the gods took it personally. The victory you fought 10 years for became a curse on the men who won it. You sail for home. Most of you never arrive. Storms scatter the fleet. Some drown within sight of Greece. Ajax, who dragged a woman from a temple, is struck dead at sea. Odysseus, the man whose idea the horse was, will wander lost for 10 more years and reach home alone. Every man who climbed into that horse beside him, dead along the way. 10 years to take the city. 10 years to get home from it. The war took the first half of your life going and the second half coming back. And you, if you are one of the few who reaches home, you are not the young man who sailed to Troy 20 years ago. Your wife has aged. Your parents are dead. The children are grown and afraid of you. You sit by your own fire at last, the thing you dreamed of for 20 years, and you find you cannot sleep in a quiet room because your body still expects the dark of the horse and the sound of a city that does not yet know it is already dead. You survived the trick that ended the greatest war in the world. You just didn't survive it whole. Nobody who climbed into that horse did. The men inside the horse were the sharp end of a war that started over kings and pride. But they were never the ones who chose it. Long before Troy, another army was built from boys who were handed to the state before they could walk and broken into soldiers on purpose. Why it sucked to be born a Spartan. That video is already on this channel.